Hey everybody, this is Kelly. I wanted to do some training on subscriptions and how important that is, and some changes that I have made in how I bring people into the business and coaching. Um, it is going to get people some recurring income at a sooner pace and make things actually simpler in the beginning for them to begin to get those paychecks. It's also going to help us with stabilizing income long term. You'll see what I'm talking about as we go along. Um, and we're going to help some people save some money. So let's get this thing started. So we're going to be talking mainly about subscriptions. So when someone comes to you and they are brand new in business, we are going to always do the 7 day social launch or the 6 week social launch, actually, but we're going to call it 7 days because we don't want to overwhelm people. Okay. So, the very first post, I think it's really important to put their face in. Our system of growth is set up to bring people along with you on the journey. I love that because what that does, people don't have to sit outside and use the products first and decide about the business based on their results initially. We know everybody's journeys are different. And the way our system of growth is set up is actually for them to begin the business actually as they're beginning their weight loss journey or their wellness journey on these products. So they don't have to feel like they've got to get the best results. They've got to lose 50 pounds in 3 weeks and all the things. They don't. It's simply inviting people along the journey with you. If they have already been on the drops, then that first post still needs to have their picture in it with drops. That shows the legitimacy of what they're doing so that people don't think they've been hacked. Okay. But regardless, they need their picture in their first post. And then that first post, if they've already had some success on products, that can be their first post, their success and how they're feeling so far. I've had people even discuss how their early wins are what brought them to wanting to share these products with other people. They may have only been on the products a week. They may not have had any weight loss, but they are having health wins. They are sleeping better. They're having better energy, whatever that is. But I do think it's important for that first post to have their face in it. Take a great picture of them, help them if you need to, use a filter if you need to, so that they feel great putting that out there on social media, and then help them draft their language for their first post. As we all know, that social launch is posting twice a day, using the scripts in the system of growth. And when they are brand new, the system of growth says we need to be, as their sponsor, checking on them once a week. I'm going to up the ante on that and say when they're first getting started and they're super excited, follow up with them every day. I've not always been the best at that because I know some people don't want to be pushed, but just love on them. Say, hey, how you doing today? How you doing on your drops? Um, I'm going to go and look at their posts. I'm going to engage on their posts and just give them a little nudge, a little elbow in their back, like Brent says, to keep them going. Okay. Now, when I bring someone into the business, this is part of my mind shift and my strategy going forward, and I'll tell you why. Retail sales in the beginning are fun, right? It goes fast, it's super exciting. You're making some money real quickly. Um, but the goals of those retail sales are these you see on the screen. Is number one, first and foremost, to get them to Ultimate and Gold. Why is that important? Ultimate gets them fully commissionable for the life of their business. They're going to make the biggest percentage going forward within the comp plan. The next thing it gets them is that big 30% new volume bonus for anyone else who comes into the business with new volume bonus. Whether that is with a subscription, which we'll talk about as a member, or as a brand partner here to work the business, you're going to get that 30% new volume bonus. Gold actually gets you the first 3 levels of check match. You don't see check match quickly right at first because you don't have people in those first 3 generations under you on those legs. But you earn check match bonus on both of your first 2 leg, well, on every leg that you ever build. That's the easiest way to say it. You earn check match bonus on every leg of your business, beginning with the direct person in that leg. So you want to have people that you bring into the business at the top of both of your legs or soon thereafter, because from there down is where you're going to earn check match bonus. That will far out earn anything you could personally sell and earn on in this business long term, because you're making a percentage of a lot of people's base commissions. It's matching what they are making in their base commissions. They're going to be getting it on their first three generations. So everybody earns check match bonus once they're gold. That number one is the biggest reason to do retail sales quickly. The next reason, which most people are thinking about when they come here, is return on investment. If they're going to buy a 10 pack of drops up front or a 30 pack of drops up front, they want to quickly get a full return on their investment so that they now have nothing out of pocket. It takes $29.95 to join this business. You are making that and another $700 or so on your first 10 pack of drops. If you purchase that 30 pack, you know that your profit margin is bigger and you will stand to earn even more. But we want people saying, I have built this monumental business with no money out of pocket. So that's why we want them to get a full return on their investment and as quickly as we can get it. Our goal is to do these things in their first 4 Fridays of when they join. Now, I have some people say, it's Thursday afternoon and I've got someone ready to join. Should I wait until Saturday morning to sign her up? Never do that, because here's what's going to happen. Susie Q is all excited about getting started. She wants to get her drops in hand. She wants to place her order. She wants to start telling her sister and her mother-in-law and her Aunt Reba. And she is having lunch with Aunt Reba tomorrow. And she says, Aunt Reba, I'm about to start this fantastic thing. I'm so excited. My friends are having great results. And Aunt Reba is a negative. And she talks Susie into not doing this, that it sounds foolish. Now, Aunt Reba knows nothing about this business, but she's going to be discouraging to Susie, who's ready to go. So, and now Susie's not open to hearing from you again. So I never hold anybody until a Saturday. I actually joined on a Friday morning. No one said, hey, that's going to cut you a week short and you've been able to get to ultimate and gold. No, why would they discourage me from the get-go? I'm ready to get going. I'm excited. Who said I'm going to need 4 Fridays? I may only need 6 days. Who knows? So I would never hold somebody till Saturday for that reason. Never. I'm going to sign them up when they're ready to go, and I'm going to show them what their first goal is. You want to sell 30 boxes by this date. Okay? They don't know that they are a little short of having 28 days. They just know this is their goal. Okay? The next reason and huge perk to retail sales is quick profits. It's fun to make that fast money in the beginning. It's fun to hear that Venmo and PayPal going off like a slot machine. That is exciting. And so that's a huge perk. It also builds confidence. So when they've sold 30 and they're at Ultimate and Gold, they now have some stickability. They've accomplished something in this business that they weren't sure they would want to do or be interested in doing. And so when you build confidence, it builds belief and people keep going. You have to stay with them and lock arms and stay engaged, okay? Now, are there some other situations when retail sales are profitable and you may want to do that? Absolutely. So if you are ordering a special, let's say the PXP bundles, that's a great example right now. A lot of people bought the bundles of products from PXP. They had new products that my drop customers have not used yet. So that's a great way to do retail sales. Get people on new products, get them trying something new, make a bundle, market it like you wish. Remember, this is your business. You can design your own bundle. You can set your own price. I would say, though, always remember when you are selling retail to give them a little discount from full retail on the website, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't make it so inexpensive just to get your money back that they're not going to want to pay for it later. Okay. Also, if they are in the business, you may want to use it as an incentive. Let's say you have a bunch of people out there that's in the business, either with a subscription as a member or as brand partners that didn't get the PXP bundle. Let's use some of those new products as leverage or as an incentive for them to go and do something. So the first, if you've got customers, you may have a chat thread for your customers, or you may want to message them and say, hey, I have a special on this brand new product of Everglow. Tell them the benefits of why they want it. And one of the first 10 customers that buys one is going to also go in a drawing for the new product Max 2.0. That's a great way to get them on two products. You may, for new people coming into the business, if you're using this for recruiting, the first person who comes in with XYZ, who wants to join me in business, sharing these fabulous products with your network. You could probably get your product that you personally use paid for, but I'm also offering a free Everglow to the first 3 people that join me in business. That's a great way to use purchases that you have to share with others. Okay. You can always still do, like I said, straight up retail. You get new customers that way. Make a bundle, advertise it. Don't put prices out there, but anything else is free reign. Always bring them back to your inbox, and there's a lot of advantages to that as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about conversions. I'm going to tell you something that also has changed. So when I'm talking about those retail sales, I am now shifting people to doing retail sales only until they are ultimate in gold. Here's what I mean by that. When I joined, we were just selling retail, selling retail, selling retail. And before you know it, somebody has sold 400 drops and they've got 400 scattered people because it went so fast, the wheels came off the wagon. They're not getting good follow up with those people. They are slinging drops like crazy and probably keeping an inaccurate list. I'm talking from experience. And so what I recommend is retail sales until they're ultimate in gold. What that means for them is that they only have 30 people to go back and follow up with and convert, as opposed to 300 some odd people, some of which bought 2, some of which came back and bought a second box before they were finished with their first one, and I'm still selling retail. It gets to be a jumbled mess. So you have 30 people to go back to and have conversion conversations with, follow up and get them into the system. Now, everyone beyond those first 30 you sell, you may still be selling like crazy. You may still be having, another 200 people coming to you for products. Here's what I recommend. Bring them in as a member with a subscription. Now, the reason being is that now they are tied to you in the system. If they're buying retail from you and they've been buying for 3 months, inevitably, and y'all mark my words, eventually someone in their family or friend circle are going to be in this company. They're going to suddenly start buying from them because they're not tied to you in the system. They can do whatever they want to. And then someone approaches them about the business. That same person is talking to them about how they can share and make money. Now they're joining someone else in the business when they would have been tied to you had they been brought in with a subscription initially. Okay. That preserves that relationship for your business. Get them in with a subscription. The other thing is they're going to be saving more money. Okay. They're going to be getting drops for 123 plus tax and shipping as opposed to 160, 187, whatever it is that you're selling for. Different markets sell at different price points. So Here's a caveat. If you buy a 10-pack of drops and you are selling retail and you place under someone else for that new volume bonus, you get 500 PV and you get $150 new volume bonus. So many people here are in that mentality of continuing to buy and sell retail so they can get that new volume bonus. Let's flip that on its head. You have 10 people who are purchasing nothing but drops as a business partner, so as a member with the $29.95 membership. They come in, 10 people individually purchase drops. They're only running 76 PV for a box of drops. But that comes to 760 PV that you're getting paid new volume bonus on. You're still getting new volume bonus. You're getting in smaller increments, but look at the total. Now you're getting 228 new volume bonus as opposed to that 150. And they're tied to you in the system. Very important. Now, historically, I'll tell you what I've personally seen with people coming in here with subscriptions. I will have a conversation that now that you are a wholesale buyer, just like Sam's or Costco, you're getting a deeper discount on products. You also have access to our full portfolio of products. This is a great time. You may want to look at redirecting some of your spending. And they say, what do you mean by that? Well, are you on a multivitamin? They're most likely full of fillers and artificial colors and some crap ingredients. We actually have some that are very clean, Optimal M and Optimal V. They have none of that stuff in them, and they're optimal dosing to optimize how your body functions. It's enough of a dose to help your body actually work as it should work, as it was designed to work, to support its natural properties. Okay. Do you drink a protein shake? We actually have a great protein shake. It is free of fillers and colors and sweeteners. And because of that, you can mix it a million different ways. You can have any flavor you want today, and it makes it super easy. It gets you quality protein. What about, let me think, what else? But that's an easy way to talk. Do you use a fluoride-free toothpaste? If you don't, you might want to do your research and look at that. We actually have a great one. We have a very clean shampoo and conditioner that you may be interested in. We have a lot of products here. We have products for gut, for mental health, all kinds of things. Here's a product guide, and they can begin to peruse. And I guarantee over time, if they stay plugged in and continuing on products, they usually end up buying other things and have that routine subscription every month. Before long, that 76 PV subscription turns into 125. Okay? Huge benefit of subscriptions. Now, with subscriptions, here's another thing. Everybody in your line gets paid on them. So if you are at the top of your line and you've been building for 6 months, and all of a sudden you have someone else come in with a subscription, you're going to put it down there low at the bottom of that line. Why? Because you get paid the exact same on it. They are your direct subscriber. You're paid the highest rate on them because you're the one bringing them in. But here's the kicker and the huge advantage for you and your team. Everybody between where they are placed in your tree, everybody between them, all the way above them, all the way to you, gets paid on that volume every time they order. So it's a beautiful thing. You want to build that because you're not helping just you, you're helping that subscriber save money and introduce them to wellness for life. You're also helping your team get paid. Okay. So subscription volume equals recurring volume and income. Here's what I mean by that. You see on the screen, you came in here, you sold a 30-pack, you are now ultimate in gold. For the next now I'm lowballing y'all. This is very conservative. For the next 4 months, you are bringing in 15 droppers on a subscription with 76 PV. That's all we're doing, just drops. We're bringing them in with drops to start, okay? It is our introductory product. So with that, you have 90 droppers every 4 weeks. That comes to 23 a week. Now, all my math may not be perfect, guys, but let's just be conservative here and say we have 1,748 PV in each leg. When you've done that, because they're not all going to hit perfectly on any given week, you are now senior manager. Senior manager pays is 1,500 pay line volume. Now, one leg is your power leg, one leg is your pay leg. You're getting check match on everything as that bills out, but you're getting base commissions on your pay leg. So in the beginning, you're building just even with people and bodies, okay? Because you don't know who's going to show up and really begin to work. So this 1,748 PV represents a bunch of droppers that you've put into the system with a subscription. So at 1,500 pay line volume, and you've got that because you've got 1,748 here, okay? 1,500 pay line volume will pay you 225 per week, which equates to almost 12,000 per year. And it also is enough to open your savings bonus, which is another layer of pay, to 3,375 per week, which comes to over 1,700 per calendar year. But you're not going to stop there, right? You're not going to be the only one bringing people to this business and setting them up on subscription. So let's say at month 5, your business begins to explode. Now, Susie was a dropper, but Susie has come over here because she's had such fantastic results that people are beginning to ask her what she's doing. So Susie goes crazy. She's bringing people in left and right. She's bought a 10-pack. She's brought some people in with subscriptions. She's now Ultimate and Gold. That comes to 3,000 PV over there. You also had Julie who raised her hand and said, how are you getting paid on this? I've got people asking me all the time. She brings you 3 referrals and you say, Julie, what you need to do, you are already in the business. Let me set you up and let's put these subscriptions under you and make you some money. So Susie decides to work the business and start doing a social launch and begins to sell as well. She does 1,252 PV. That comes to 3,000 PV there. 3,000 PV in your pay line is vice president. Vice president pays 450 per week. Now, this is all based on your pay line volume and your base commissions. This is base commission pay for 3,000 pay line volume. That equates to 450 per week, 23,400 per year, and it opens that savings bonus to the tune of 6,750 deposit per week, equaling over 3,000 a year. Now, the next thing that happens is that Lucy begins to raise her hand and she says, heck, I can do this. I know people all over the country. Susie gets started, and in a couple months, she's got 40 people signed up under her, 20 in each of her legs, and is blowing and going. She's now built 3,000 PV. Now, Lucy has 2 lines beginning to grow, okay? That's all subscriptions is what she's got right now, in theory. So when you add that up, you've now got 6,000 PV in your power line. Now, you're still vice president because you've only got 3,000 in your pay line volume. But that next week, guess what happens? John comes in here and says, I'm looking for an opportunity to make some money. Show me what to do. You show John what to do. John starts building like cuckoo. He's now added another 2,052 PV. That comes to 5,000 PV in your pay line. Because remember, your power line is always your bigger of the two. The other line is your pay line volume. Now you're getting check matched because now Susie's getting paid, Lucy's getting paid. You're getting check match on them in your power line as well. In your pay line, which is the 5,052 leg, you are getting check match on Julie. You're getting check match on John. You've now got 5,000 pay line volume, which makes you senior vice president. 5,000 pay line volume. So that would be a minimum of 750 per week, 39,000 a year if it is perfect every week, and 112.5, so $112.50 every week in savings bonus deposit, which is over half your savings bonus to get that big $10,000 payout. Now, John is super excited and he's talking to people about the business. So the next week, he brings in two people. Lisa adds 15 subscriptions. Molly adds 15 subscriptions. Now John is getting check match on both of them. You're getting check match on Julie, John, Lisa, and Molly. And now Lucy gets fired up on the other leg. She brings Gina in, who also adds 15 subscriptions this week at 76 PV. That's another 1,140 in volume. So what does that do? Okay, now let's look at this a minute. Now what was your pay line on your line 2 on the right is 7332 PV. Your other line is 7,180. Now we don't care which is which. We just want to see which one we're getting base commissions on. It's going to be the smaller of the two, right? Now remember, you're getting check match on Julie, John, Lisa, Molly, Susie, Lucy, and Gina. Now check match is showing up for you. You're also getting base commissions on your pay line. Which one is that? Your lines have flipped. And the one with 7,180 is now your pay line that you're getting base commissions on because the volume changed, okay? Don't get discouraged when volume flips. That means something's happening. It's a great sign of growth. Until these babies grow out to 13,334 and are steady there every week, they may flip back and forth. That's okay. And when they're flipping often, here's something to remember. That means that both lines are growing. That's good for you. Okay. So now you have 7,180 PV in your pay line volume. 6,667 is officer. Congratulations, you've just made officer. That's $1,000 a week. Base commissions. It's $52,000 a week in base commissions. Remember, there's other things coming along with this. This does not include your match pay and other bonuses. You're now getting 150 per week in your savings bonus, which comes to 7,800 in 1 year. You're knocking on the door of the $10,000 payout and continued every month deposits in your savings bonus. So you see how quickly that happens. Does it happen in 4 weeks? No. Can it happen in 4 weeks? Yes. Typically it doesn't, but who cares? It doesn't matter whether people will go to work every day for 40 years and they get discouraged here if they're not officer in 2 months. A lot of people who are going to work every day for 40 years aren't making what senior officer can make here in a year. They're not making 160,000 a year. But senior officer here makes 160,000 a year. Who cares if it took you 2 years to build that? Keep going, okay? So now back to conversions. All that means is converting someone to a subscription. So when we coach that you only do retail until you're ultimate and gold, and then for specials or something like that, if you're helping someone get to ultimate and you need to fill an order, then sure do that. Um, However, one of the advantages of only selling retail to Ultimate and Gold is that you're now building recurring income. You're helping other people win with that income, and you only have 30 to go back and convert initially. Okay. This is a huge advantage. It's going to make things much simpler for people coming into the business. So, how do I go back to those 30 or 200 or however many it was? It was 200 for us in the beginning. Um, you're going to just go back to them when they're ready to reorder and say, when Susie has a win in our follow-up system, I don't care if Susie says I'm sleeping better, I have more energy, it seems like my joint pain is a little better. That is amazing. That means the drops are working in your body, Susie. Changes are happening for the better. Um, Now it takes 90 days for minimum for your hormones to balance and for you to get the full results. You're going to see continued results as you continue on your journey. So now let's save you some money on your next box. She's going to say, how? I'm going to say, I have a membership for you. It's going to get your price down to $123 plus tax and shipping. And this is sometimes what I say. If you're buying them from me for $160 a box, 4 boxes to get you another 90 days worth is $640 over time. Or you can come into a membership for a one-time fee of $29.95. You never have to renew that again. It basically makes you a wholesale buyer like Sam's or Costco, but it makes your drops $123 a box. She's going to say, let's do that. Okay. I'm going to send you a link with the subscription. All you have to do is put in billing and shipping. Your drops are going to come to you every 4 weeks until you decide you don't want them. When you do, it's easy to change because you are in control and you get what you want when you want it. Okay. Now, if they are coming to me first time after I am Ultimate and Gold, I'm bringing everybody in with subscriptions. I'm not talking to them about selling them some off my porch. Here's the advantage. Remember, I said when you bring 10 people in with 76 PV for drops, it's 760 in volume and 228 new volume bonus, as opposed to 150 new volume bonus when you're buying a 10 pack. Okay. And everybody comes in here. Everybody knows 30 people who can benefit from these drops. Okay. So if they're coming to me for the first time, I don't even talk to them about retail. This is what I say to them. How much do they cost? Remember, in our system of growth, I say we have a couple options. They're 176 full retail on the website, but we have a membership option. It gets you a huge discount and makes the drops 123 a box. They may ask, how does the membership work? I'm just going to simply say to them, it basically makes you a wholesale buyer, just like Sam's or Costco. It's only $29.95 one time ever. You don't have to renew that every year. You don't have to renew that ever. But it gets you the wholesale price on drops and on all our other products. We have a huge portfolio of products that you'll now have access to for wholesale shipping, wholesale pricing. You are in control. You get what you want when you want it. That's important for them to hear. You were in control of it. There's no obligations. You don't have to order for 6 months. You are in control of it. You get what you want when you want it. As long as it's with a subscription, you'll get the deepest discount, period. And then you say to them, which one is better for you? They may say they want to pay that 176. If they do, sign them up through the website with your link. It still ties them to you in the system. And you've given them the option, right? But most likely they're going to want that membership. Sign them up. Send them a smart link, get them enrolled with a subscription. I tell people too, you'll see the discount, the membership being called business tools. That is what makes you a wholesale buyer. So it's always about helping them win. We always want to give them a choice. Which option is best for you? Full retail or the membership option? When they say membership, you say, great. that since you'll be a wholesale buyer, you also have the option of getting a 4-pack for $371. That gets your drops to below $100 a box. Is that something you'd be interested in, or just the one box today? They're probably going to say, tell me about it. Let them decide which option they want. After they're going to say, what is it? And you can explain it to them. It's a 4-pack. It's $371, blah, blah, blah. This is not a special. This is actually open to you all the time. Regardless of which one they say, which one they choose, whether they are coming in with a subscription for one box or a 4-pack, the next thing you're going to say is perfect. I'm going to send you a link that will take you straight to checkout with everything loaded in your cart. All you have to do is put in your billing and shipping and check out. Period. Make it easy for them. Do it immediately so that they are acting when they're ready to purchase and they're not trying to come back around to it at night when they have 40 things going on. Okay. So this is really just about helping them win. They're getting their products for the lowest price. You're getting them in with a subscription tied to you, and you're getting new volume bonus. So let's go help some people win. If you have questions about this video or the process, please feel free to reach out to me. I don't know why my phone number is all janky like that, but it's 479-2632. I am more than happy to help. I will answer questions to the extent of my knowledge. If I do not know, I will find you an answer. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know how I can help you win. Bye-bye.